Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, welcome back to a new episode. We'll be starting from where we stopped last. That was yesterday. Yeah. So we are kind of basically at the articles favorite articles section. Okay. So let's head over here. See if we can speed up some stuff. Yeah. So currently, right now, this is what we have, and it's working as expected. And we can actually add favorite articles here and also remove them. So tapping on this will remove any of them. And if you go back from the article screen, so this is the article screen, and you can actually add any single one you want as a favorite. So when you add this, so basically at the moment all the articles are the same, so but we are still going to change that. So tap on this, head back here, still see that that's added back again. So we have two favorite articles and currently have two favorite psychologists. So that's the functionality we have right now. One stuff I need to fix or add feature is basically the the icon we have here for grid view. So you can actually toggle this to have a grid display. So you have to column grid. If you toggle this, it will display kind of like two column grid or something like that. So that's what this is doing here. If you look, you can see the functionality. So when you toggle it, you have two column display for those articles, and that's what it shows for articles. So when you are in psychologist view, it doesn't show up here. So that's the functionality we need to add. And once we are done with that, so we can move into working on the payment section of the app. So let's go ahead and fix this up. So I'll head over here in the articles screen, in the favorite screen. So here we go. And I could actually have the icon show up somewhere. Let me see. So these are our row, which is we have a button. Okay, so I could have that show up somewhere here. So I could say icon, and in there I could say icons dot grid. So we have grid. Let me see. It should have it 3 by 3. That's how that looks like. No, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, so this is it. And yeah, so this is the exact icon we're looking for. But we want to push this to this end. I could actually do that with spacer. So just adding spacer will do that for you. It will push it to the end, and then we could have wrap this with a padding. Instead of wrapping with a padding, I can actually use size box on this, and then you say size box width of 30.0. Yeah, so that will push it this end. Let's see what else we need to do. So for this icon, the icon color we have to use I think 30 is too big. Let's try around 20. Okay, let's bring that up a bit. we can actually go from our design, see the size of this, so the whole stuff, not just see. So around 28. Isn't that too much? Okay, let's leave it around 25, something like that. Let's see. I think that's better. Then we can actually add the color property for it. The color will be based on our theme color. So we just tap into theme dot context icon dot theme. Yeah, that's taking good shape. No, not this. Close this off. Head back here. So there we are. So we already added this. So this is working now. We need to add a functionality at the moment. So it doesn't have any functionality. So it's just a single icon. So we want to add that toggle functionality. And to add that toggle functionality, I could head back. So just head back into our article controller. It should be article controller, profile controller. So yeah, it should be profile controller. So inside our profile controller screen, we could have a string, not a string, but a boolean variable, rx boolean, and I call that is grid. So it help us toggle grid. I'll just say toggle. So it is grid. Next we could say, I have the function somewhere down here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So then we can just make use of that variable that we have here and use that inside our article screen. Okay, that should be that should be right in here. Actually profile, yeah, profile main controller. Okay, in there just monitor whenever there are changes on that is grid. So whenever we tap on this, it should toggle the grid property. Where is that? Okay, it's not here, so that should be outside this file. So yeah, so it's in this file. So we already have the profile controller right here, and I could just wrap this with a gesture detector. Just wrap this with a gesture detector. And the untap part, so the untap, just call a function, that function we're trying to call. So that should be profile controller toggle, not animate, but basically toggle grid. Yeah, that's it, toggle grid. And then we could just say over here, use an obx on this icon that we have right in here. Let's say obx. Let's return. Okay, there we go. What I'm going to do, we are going to do some kind of like logic in here. So I'm going to say if profile controller dot grid, if it's true. So if this is true, go ahead and show. So if it's true, go ahead and show this icon. But if it's not true, we need to show a different icon. So else path, so it show a different icon. But the icon we are going to show, I'm not too sure of it, but let's try. And I think I have somewhere documented one of those icons I want to use. So basically show a different icon that's not a grid icon in there. You could actually see that from material view websites, material icons. So I basically use this because this is what Flutter is using for their icon display. So they're making use of material UI icons. So the icon we want to show is basically should be this split screen, because that kind of like shows one particular column on top of each other. So that should be the one that makes sense to show this one. So this particular icon, and what's this name again? Split screen. So we could just say show split, yeah, split screen icon, and if you save that, value. Okay, yeah, so that's issue because it's false, it's not showing that, so that's good. Let's see what else we need to do. So head over in here, and we could actually access final profile controller. Let's find the monitor. Say if okay, before we do that, so we need to change this from list view to grid view, so it doesn't look nice. So because we cannot use list view to display grid, so I'm going to change this to a grid view. Just comment this out for now, and basically under here return a grid view, flutter grid dot build. Actually grid view, yeah, grid view builder. So I have a context and again an index. So that's what a builder is expecting, a function that has a context and an index, and basically that's a builder function. Let me see what else we need to do here. Yeah, so basically I'm going to copy this code and display it right in here. There we go. Last but not the least is just to add a grid delegate. We are going to use yeah, slaver grid delegate fixed cross axis count. So this is the delegate we are going to use. So cross axis spacing, and we could set that to be let's say 10 for now. And also main axis spacing, we could set that to 10. Let me see what else we need to work on. Okay, so if this is false, so go ahead and show one grid. So if we save that, yeah, we have one grid at the moment. So let's try toggling this, and hopefully we won't be getting any error. It's going to have an error at the moment, but we are still going to fix that. But let's try something out. So tap on this, and you can see it's showing two grid, but we are having an error, so we need to fix the error for now. But actually this is working, so you can see the toggling, so changing the grid property from one column to two column and other stuff. So yeah, but let's fix the errors we are having right now. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. See, okay, so the first error is basically okay, the index issue, so we need to fix this. So we could just say item count should be list.length. So we're using the number of items to display what we want to display. And then okay, I think that should be able to fix that. So save. Okay, yeah, the error goes away for the out of index error. So the second error is basically the overflow issue that we're having here. So we need to fix that too. So remove the margin, we don't need it since we already have main axis spacing. So main axis spacing is the spacing between this and the other column under it. But for the row, we'll be targeting the for the row we have the cross axis spacing, which is said it should be 10 pixels here. So this row right there. Let's see what else we need to fix here. Okay, I think we could just deal with try the child aspect ratio. Let's work on that. Try changing that to 0.7. Okay, still having an issue. That's too much. We have to 0.4. Okay, just try 0.4 here. So that works. That's too much. About 0.5. Then we have 0.6. Okay. I think that makes sense this way. See if we are still getting the. Okay, we are not having any issue of overflowing there. And one more thing we could actually do is, okay, we could use because now if we kind of like toggle back to single row, I think we have an issue right now. So yeah, so you see this kind of like extends all the way to here, which is not what we need. So we could actually use an if statement on this. So I could say if this is true, so if the profile controller grid view, if it's true, go ahead and do this. Else, if not, go ahead and set it to 1.0. I think that should actually help us. Yeah, but that's too much. So let's actually look at the design we got here. So our design, looking at this, we have, so this should be a bit smaller, but this is still too big, so we need to fix that. So somewhere around 1.23. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So that matches the design we have. Yeah, so we see the spacing between this text and here, and that's also what we got here, the spacing between here and here, and also the spacing between here and here should be how many pixels? Okay, 14. So you can actually increase the main axis to be 14 pixels, and also increase this to be, let's see, so the cross axis should be how many pixels? Should be 15 pixels. Okay, so 15 and 14. Yeah, and that's good. So we have the 14 pixels right here. So that's working fine. I think we are good with the design. The design came out good. So let me see. Okay, let's look at this. So if we toggle this back on again, and there we go. So you can see that showing up, and that's looking good. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good to go. And one more thing is that we don't want this to show up if the user is on the psychology aspect of the screen. So we don't want to show this up. So we could hide that. So how do we hide that? So we head over to the favorite screen, and we could do something like say let me see. So that should be under tab controller the index. So tab controller the index. So if that is 0, so we should basically hide this particular view widget. So let's say profile controller dot tab controller dot index. If the index is equals to 0, so go ahead and hide that. But I think we are going to experience something strange. Let's see. So it's going to hide it, but if we head over, let me see, it's not going to show up. So the reason because we are not using a set state or something like that kind of tells the app to rebuild. There's a new change to the state, so that's why we are having this particular issue right here. The perfect way to change this is to wrap everything in a basically wrap everything in an OBX. So basically this not everything the screen that needs to change. So what I can do, the trick behind this is to just go back, revert back to our previous code, just revert everything back, and I will going to move this out of here, move the OBX path out of here, we'll copy that and move that to our OBS, and then wrap this, get an OBS up here. So I'm going to say OBX, which is going to basically return this. So this should show up like this. What we want to move in, so we're going to move this into our OBX. Yeah, so we are moving all this inside the OBX, and right here, so I could just use that, we could just use that, do the stuff we wanted to do before, which is basically calling profile controller dot grid, grid is grid dot value. If it's true, go ahead and show an empty. No, if it's true, okay, that's not what we want to do. So basically what I wanted to do is the tab controller. So tab controller dot index, so the index is equals to 0. If it's equals to 0 is true, go ahead and show an empty container. Else, go ahead and show the icon that we were showing before, and this should actually work right now. So if you save this and toggle this again, so let's toggle this. So okay, we still not have fixing that. So let me see, profile controller tab controller. Okay. Our tab controller is not actually observable. I think that was also the reason why we are not getting this. Let's check over here. So here we are calling tab controller.animate to. Okay, we are calling tab controller.animate to. We could actually create something that kind of like holds our states. In here, we could actually create a function that toggles one of our state based on the particular screen we are. Let's just say RX. Okay, RX boolean. So I'm going to say this should be is what screen is this? Is psychology tab. It's article tab. It's article tab we start out being false, and then we have something that toggles it, a function. Okay, so we can actually have this like this, or we can actually change the name to something that instead of saying toggle tab, so we are not toggling tab, we can change it to hide icon. So whether is show grid button or just toggle show grid button, that will be the name of the function. And then this variable here will be saying something like show grid btn, create that. So we didn't create it, so that's why we are seeing those red line errors there. So we need to create that. So yeah, I think that's good. We head over to our screen right here and make use of that. We could say over here when we call this, and we need to call the same function. So of calling those function here. Okay, yeah, okay, let's call it here. I should use the same function on tap article and on tap favorite. So yeah, use them on both. And then next stuff we could actually do, we can actually combine both of these into a single function and get it called in here instead of having these two functions here. So that's one way to actually format your code and make it kind of readable and make sense. But for now, I'm going to leave this here. And next we could actually do is to so we have the both of them right here. Then I could say in yes of using this, checking the particular index. So I'm going to say is show grid btn. So if this is true, if it's true, go ahead and show the icon. Else, go ahead and show an empty container. So this should actually work right now. So let's test this out. Hopefully, let's see if you're having any error. So there's no error. Test this out. Right here, we could just say tap on this. Okay, it shows up. Tap on this is hidden. So that's working. So tapping on this, yeah, and we can actually see that showing up here until we head over to the article screen, so we can be able to see that, toggle it anywhere we want. And yeah, I think that's good. That's the functionality that we want. Head over here and that disappears. Head back, that shows up. Okay, I think that's it for the this favorite screen. So we are actually done with the whole thing about favorite screen. There's nothing else to implement there. We kind of like completed the whole screens sections. And also over here, if you tap on this, it will take you to that particular article and you can read through the articles. Tapping on any of this will take you to the particular article. You could read through it. Let's see. Yeah, so that's it. So there's nothing much to do here, except kind of like tidying this up so that I could actually take us to that particular selected user psychologist and not to general psychology or that selected psychologist. So yeah, I think that's it for this screen. And we head up to, we could actually do those bug fixes later on, but for now let's head over to payment section and implement this. So the payment screen should look like this. So this is what we are looking to get working. So we need to implement something like this where the user can actually add multiple cards to their app, and they can select anyone they want to use for payment. So they have new card, they can add card, and they can see the list of card they added. So when they tap on new card, it takes them to this screen to add card, and when they tap on list of card they added, they could see the card details Yeah, I think that should be the how that functions. Yeah, I think so. So you could actually take them to the card they added, and after that, so the last thing we kind of like dealing with will be this to complete this um SMS, so notification settings, this path. But let's complete this first. Okay. Set up some stuff right in here. Guys, if you feel like the stream is kind of like disturbing on any platform, I think YouTube is okay. You could head over to the YouTube, to my YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube is working fine, and I think that's okay for me. Okay, you could just watch from there. So which is also good, except LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn is having some problem. I could see the stream. It's kind of like not that clear enough, something like that. So let's kind of like work on this. So we have the payment section. Head into that. So let's see if we added okay, that should be inside here in our profile section. So we should be able to add the screen that we are looking forward to add right now. So that should be under presentation. We already have favorite screen for this. We have profile screen, no, edit profile screen for this, and we don't have payment and change password for, yeah, for change password. So let's go ahead and add payments. Say payment screen, call that payment options screen dot that. We could actually make that to be stateful. We need here to be stateful widgets. So if you're asking why I'm making this stateful or stateless, so the only reason I would actually like to make this stateful because I want to add an animation to the screen. Otherwise I'll just go straight ahead and use stateless widgets. But nonetheless, you can actually always use stateless unless you want to use set state for updating your state. So you can make use of stateful widgets. So payment options. Okay, let me see. And over here, I'm just going to return something. Let's return a scaffold. At the moment, a scaffold with a body and a text. I think that's enough for now until we'll be able to see the screen. And head over to the route section. Under our routes, I'm going to add a route, and I'm going to call that not favorite. So I'm going to say profile payment options. So if we use the suggested string, so it says profile payment options, then that's okay with us. And again, copy this and head over to pages, app.pages, still under the profile parents get page. So we need to add this underneath this siblings, so that should be get page, not this. So I have get page. Okay, yeah, so use rows, not that. So see, that should be rows dot profile payment option, and for the page we want to route, so is basically profile payment option page. So that should be this profile, no, not profile, that should be payment option screen. Yeah, this one. Now we need to restart our app to be able to, okay, before we do that, so let's just fix one or two things. Let's just fix one or two things. So inside our favorite, is it favorite? No, that should be inside our profile screen. So this button right here should take us to where's the button? So I'm looking for the button. That should be, yeah, icon payments. So that button should take us to payment screen. That should profile slash, yeah, profile payment option. Once we tap on it, and after that you can just restart our app. So there we go. So we can actually see that showing up. So the payment option screen, you see that showing up here. That's good. So let's go ahead and start creating the UI, the user interface for that. First of all, we have this row with a back button and a payment test, a test that says payments. Let's add those. That should be inside. So remove this center widget first. We don't need this. What we need there is a safe area with a child property. To the child widget is going to be a column, and then the column we have children. Put the side by side like this, and yeah, the first one will be basically let's see, yeah, so the row with a button. So we should just copy this. Let's copy this row. No need to repeat it again. No need to kind of like write it out since we already have it somewhere. Just copy it out and reuse it. But that it should actually make sense if we kind of like converted it to reusable widgets. There's a whole lot of stuff we can convert to the reusable widgets, which we have been doing here. So we have a lot of reusable widgets right in our app, but there's a lot more we could actually convert. So for now we have this. So go ahead and import this for now. So I don't need this OBX path. I'm going to remove this OBX path. I don't need it. And remove this. I still don't need it. So there we go. So it says favorite, but I don't want it to say favorite. We actually want it to say payment. So it should be meant to so meant to payment screen head with a text that says payments, which we get from here. Okay, there we go. Save that, and then we could just use this in our app. So there we go, we have the payments test showing up there. And the next stuff we need to add is to add these buttons. So as an icon, the test, and then the chevron, right? And then underneath it we have the divider, and we already have this button. If you could remember, we did the same stuff right here. So this is the exact button we are looking for, and we just copy that buttons and start using it right in here. Let's see. So you could actually see that in our profile screen. So in our profile screen, we are talking about this profile edit card. Is it? Yeah, it's this one. So profile edit card. So that's the one you're talking about. Go ahead and copy that and head over to the profile option screen. Here we could just say underneath the row widgets. So we could just add the first one, import this. So this is an example of reusable widget I'm talking about. So this is actually a reusable widget in our app. The test for now, we say random stuff. The icon still random. Let me see. Let's try saving this. We can see that showing up here. So we have the icon, notification settings, which is basically this right here. So you have icon, the test, new card, and you have this. We still need to add a space from here to here. Yeah, that should be around 41 pixels. So just say size box for that. Use size box for the spacing, and target the height property because we want to add a spacing at a vertical axis. So not divided by 10. Just say times 0.1. Okay, that's too much. So let's say 0.05. I think this is okay for now. The spacing we have right now is okay. Let me see. Okay. So this should say something like new card. This will say Visa. If it's a Visa card, dash, then the first 4 digits, and again we have, if it's a MasterCard, you say MasterCard, and the first 4 digits, then with this icon. So that's it. So if it's a new card, if you want to add a new card, you tap over here to add a new card to the app, new card. Tapping on all this card will just display the card property for us to see. Yeah, so that's the stuff we are going to build in here. So let's start changing this text to say something like new card. So I'm gonna go ahead. So under here, so payment screen button 1. So it should just say new card. New card, yeah. New card, yeah. That makes sense. Save that. Save that. So yeah, so saying new card, which is exactly what we are looking for. And the rest of the screen should actually, like I said, the functionality should be this, the card type, this, the card type, this, and that's all about it. So now when we tap on this, we should actually head over to another screen under it that says add new card. So we can actually add a new card to it. So yeah, that was the section we'll be heading over to. And the functionality should actually live inside our profile settings screen controller. I think that would make sense. Yeah, or we could actually create its own controller, give it a separate controller. So I'm thinking of maybe creating a different controller for it, or kind of like giving it inside profile controller. So why would we move it out of profile controller and move it to the separate controller? Maybe we just want the logic to be separate. Right, they kind of like know that the logic only exists in this particular file, and we don't need to be calling it in any other files, because profile controller, I think we use it in other places, or we didn't. Let's kind of like leave it in the profile controller for now. Maybe later on we could just think through how to kind of like factor those in, and then yeah. So right now we need to tap on this, and it should take us to add screen, add new card to our app screen. So let's create that screen. In here, I'm going to create another screen under here. I'm going to call that add new card. I could actually make that to be stateless widgets. It doesn't need to be stateful. Just make it stateless widgets. So stateless widgets, I will call that add new card. Add new card screen. And under here, just open this up. Return a scaffold. I'm going to add this screen to go to route section, create a new route under here. Okay, under here it says string profile settings. Not profile settings, but actually profile payments. So add new card. So that's the profile add new card, and this should say add new card screen. Yeah, so profile add new card. So that's the route we want to get to. And then head over to pages. So under pages, I will go ahead and say okay, that should still under here. Yeah, under disabling. So you just say get page. Routes dots add new card, and the page, which is basically the screen, the UI we created. No, not that. Yeah, so there we go. So that's the screen we are looking for. Go ahead and save this and head over to add new screen. Yeah, and then tapping on this should actually take us to that particular screen. So get to named, import this, and import do we need to import routes in here? Just type that out by ourselves. We can just say profile / profile so there we go. So let's start our app. So head over to the profile again, head over to the payments, tap on add new card. So there we go. So it took us to the add new card screen, which we created right here. But the add new card, we need to create it to look exactly like the design we have here. And the first thing we need to do is basically still copy this over, copy this over. So start with the safe area widget. Okay, so it needs a shard property, and in here we're going to have a column widget, and inside the column we're going to have children, and inside the children we just have this for the first one. And go ahead and import a custom test, format this, save, and there we go. So we have this by saying payments, but the test should actually say new card. So go ahead and copy the test, head over to our custom test. Yeah, so this is it. Save that. Copy this. We need to copy it and head over here and then replace what we have here with it. Yeah, it just says new card. Okay, I think we're making a mistake. So we already have this twice here, so there's no need of adding it again. So basically go ahead and remove that. So it doesn't make sense to have the same test multiple times. So head over here and replace this. Yeah, still says new card, so there's no difference. And let's see what else we need to add. So after that, we need to add a test field that looks like this. I can actually make use of our custom test field. We have been using that, so that should say custom. Okay. Where do we use? Let's figure out where we used that last. Not here. We use this somewhere here, so we still need to be have an issue that we need to fix here, but we use this somewhere here. So let's get that. I'm going to say Okay, that show under okay edit page. So inside our edit page, edit profile screen. So that's where we use that. Okay, custom input text field. And again, we have the controller, which is we are getting the controller from profile controller, name controller. But right now we need to create a different controller for ours. And the controller should basically say, let's see it again. That's profile controller. Create a new controller for our test input field. Profile main controller. So I have test editing controller for change password screen, not change password screen. Add new car screen, and under it, so I'm going to say this should okay. So card number. So the first one is going to be a card number. So card number a controller. So that's what we have. And the next one, see what I should say. So card expiring dates. See card holder name controller and card expiring dates. I think this is not complete, so you should have a card number, have a card holder name, have the expiring date, and have the CVV or CVC number. So you should have card holder name controller. Next one we need to add is to have expiring date controller. Nice. And last should be the CVV controller. I think that's all. Go ahead and save that and start making use of those properties. Okay, so there we go. And in here, so the first one is profile controller. Add a profile controller inside here. Just say final profile profile main controller. Okay. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Not name controller should be card number controller. And next one, you could actually copy this and paste it again. So this should actually be card holder name controller. After that, head over, so you can actually be seeing what is going on here. And you can see that, so that's actually added here, but we need to add a placeholder to it so that we see what they're saying. And this should say card number. add new card test one. So the first one should say card number, yeah. So the second one should actually say card holder name, not expiring date. Yeah, so card holder name. And we have it, okay, yeah, expiring dates, and that should be this one right here, but it's not actually expiring date, so you should say the date format. So just show us the date format. There we go. Next will be CVV, CVC, not CVV. So let's CVV or CVC. I think those are what we need, and we can start using this. Head over to our add new card screen. On the first controller, the placeholder, so placeholder test. Okay, it's called a hint test. Should be from custom test dot this, and it should be a number type. Input format should be number, and the second one, the input format should be test, and the so if you test this out, you can see that showing up. So if you look inside our app, you see we have the card number, card holder name, and that's kind of following the design we have here. So the card number, the card holder name, and all those stuff. But we need to give it a spacing, a padding at the both ends. So the left hand side and the right hand side. So there should be a padding. So to add a padding, we have to wrap this column with a padding widget. The padding should say something like padding symmetric. So use symmetric for it. So target the horizontal part. Should save that. Okay. It's like we are adding it to the place. We don't need to add it. So not the whole screen that needs to be wrapped with a padding. I'm going to remove. Okay, just copy the whole padding stuff, and then remove the padding from here. So still revert back to our previous code. So the input field side needs a padding, so this needs a padding. Wrap that and add a padding inside this. Import this. Format the code. Do the same here. Add a padding inside this. And then we go to do the same. Just copy the whole stuff. So that should be actually okay, two main input fields. So you can see the padding being added. So you have the horizontal padding from here all the way to here. So that's working fine. Yeah, so that's the design. Okay, that should be actually a big space in between here and here. So that should be around 58 pixels. Let me see. So use a size box for that. Say height. Now divide that, so multiply that by some values to keep the sizes constant across different screens. So that brought it down a bit. Okay, that's good. So we have the card number, card holder name. Okay, we have card. Okay, that should be a bit of space between both of them. So we should say padding vertical. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we have the spacing, card number, card holder name, and we need two more fields, but are going to be in the same row. So this and this. So how do we actually factor that in? So still inside our column, I'm going to add a row widget, and inside the row widget, I'm going to add a children property, and inside the children property, I'm going to add so okay, so the code is already suggested to us, but I know I've messed some stuff up. Let's see. Instead of main controller, I have the expiring date controller and CVV controller. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're actually having an issue right now that we need to deal with. Let's see, how do we fix this? I could actually remove this size box within it, and then let's see, actually wrapping these two with expanded widgets so that they can take available height and the available width within the two parents, within its parents. So wrap it with expanded too. Okay, yeah, that's solved. So right now we could actually have the issue fixed, and you can see that. So you have the m/yy and cvv/cvc input option showing up, both of them side by side. And you can open this, so tap on this, tap on this, tap on this, but they should actually open the keyboard when you tap on them. Keyboard, yeah, tapping on that opens only a number format keyboard, and tapping outside should put it down. They're basically closing the keyboard, and to do that, just wrap this with a gesture dictator, and on tap, and for the on tap, I'm going to say hide keyboard, passing a context, and there we go. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah, tap on that, tap outside, it closes, tap on this. So this is a test input format, tap outside, it closes, tap on this. So this should be a number input format, and also this should be a number input format. Let's see, should it be a number input format? Because you need to say /months, so that should be a test input format, not a number. Yeah, so we go. So we could say our expiring dates, the month is 02/12. So that should be it. And then CVV, I think that's actually 3 number, so 232. That worked. But still need some validation here, so we need to add some logic to actually validate to see that these inputs are actually correct the way we need them to be. and then have the card number, card holder name, and all those stuff. Then we have our button here that we need to add. So this button, I think we used that previously somewhere. Okay, so we use that in edit field. So just copy the button over. Just copy the button from edit, profile screen, and the button is called, where is it? Where is it? Yeah, so this is the button we are looking for. And that should be under row, after the row widget that we added. So that should be under there. I think that's it. So go ahead and import the button and import colors. For now, we don't need these properties. I'm going to delete them. Okay, most of them are still required. So this is required, this is not required, this is not required. So I'm basically remove them for now. And then we have the profile save changes. We remove this functionality. That's not what we need looking for. And absorb pointer, we are going to remove that too. And OBX, I'm going to remove OBX for now. So we are now left with just the button. And if you save that, yeah, you see the button being added. I think it's still the same text. It should say apply, not save. So apply test. You can copy that and add that to our custom test file. It should be this. And first of all, let's check if that test exists. So it exists somewhere here, so we don't need to add it. So just copy this and start using it. So there we go. So it says apply, and then we have to push this down. How do we push it down? Just use spacer. So just using spacer, we just do that. Pushes down to us. So, and that stays right here. Let's say there's something else we need to add. So looking at the screen we got here. So new card, this. Okay, this. So while tapping is adding stuff inside here, it should actually kind of like show us a label at the top. So we should have this label property at the top. I think let's head over to our input, custom input field, test field. See if we have something like that. Okay, test from field, hint test. Okay, I can see it. It should, okay, label. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it should say label. Let's try saying let's start coding something for now. So floating label behavior, floating label style, focus color. Okay, so they all have labels right now. Okay, that's working fine. Um, okay, so right now we are going to have an option to actually pass in a label test right in here. So it could actually look something like this, what we have here. And I'm going to say label test, a final string that's going to be optional. And I'm going to call that label floating label test. Add that as our constructor. And then you start using that right here. Okay, so this is optional. Since we want to make this optional, so we could actually say if this is empty, so we can actually pass null, so that means the user doesn't have any label. So that we could actually use something like floating label test. If not null, not equals to null is true, go ahead and show this with a label test, else just passing null to that. And the floating label, since so we have to first unwrap it. So first unwrap it because we are already checking to see if it's not null. So it is good to first unwrap it here. We are not going to kind of have any error or something like that or breakdown in our code. So first unwrapping it there is okay. So if you save this, and the reason why I made it optional is because this is actually a custom test field, and we have been using it in other code in other places, so it doesn't kind of like affect other places we are using it. So that's why I made it optional. So right now in our screen, I have to add that. So I have to add the floating label. So the floating label will always be the test for that particular input field. So if you save this, so you see that this has a floating label. See, there we go. If you tap on that, you can tap anything you want, and you could delete it, tell you there's an error. So that's basically what we are looking for. And the next one we need to add, so each of them will have the same label for what they are trying to do. And the floating label has to be this too. Okay, there we go. And next one, let's see, this one, the same stuff for the floating label. Let's pass that in. The last one here, which is the first one, just copies the same stuff. Under here, floating label, pass that in here as the value. So save all this. I could say every single one of them has the same floating label, but there's an issue. So we want the floating label to have this particular color, basically the particular design we have here. The color property should be so this is the color that we are looking for, and I'm pretty sure we have been using that somewhere. So just head over to our color class. So we have our color class in there. We could actually check that to see if we have been using that particular color. In here, just tap. It doesn't exist. Okay, it exists, so I could see that. So yeah, this is it. So this is the color we are looking for, and it's called bar unselected. So we could just use that right in here. That should be inside our custom input field. So label style. So the label style should be test style. No, not label test. Okay, let me see. Let's check something out. Okay. So if routine test is not equals to null, save that. Okay, they are the same, are still doing the same stuff. So you can actually use label test and not label. So you make use of label test. And next will be basically say label style. So the label style will be coming from test style, and the app colors that we will be using will be bar unselected. Or we could just head over and use our theme. Test theme. So the color will be app colors. Okay, there we go. So that's the color. But the style property for the test is different. So that should be 400 by 17. So this is 400 by 17, and this is also 400 by 17. So the font weight is 400 and the font size is 17. Save. Okay, that's too much. We are not expecting that much. That kind of like way too much. So I think I will have to reduce the font size and font weight a bit, because if you look over here, yeah, I think that this makes sense, and this is okay. Yeah, this is okay. And next will be the floating label. So the floating label, okay, yeah, it's taking shape. Yeah, okay, they are all the same. Yeah, yeah, because if you look at the design we got here, so we have this for the floating label. You can actually look at this and look at this. See, the tastes are all kind of like taking the same design and user experience and all those stuff. Okay, yeah, we are good to go. I don't think there's any more changes that we need to make here. Just basically save this and head over to add new card screen, which is this. And now we could actually start adding card details and then save it using Hive. So Hive is basically the back end that we are going to be using to save our card details for the app we are creating. Let me see, card number here, card holder, and this. Let's see. Let's look if there's something that will help us with validating and formatting our card. So flutter credit card. So we have, I'm not looking for the input field, I'm looking for the validation. So not this. Okay, not basically what I'm looking for. So let's check for another option. Okay, I think we have something here that could help us. Let's see. Okay, so we could just use this. So formatting a credit card and formatting card number and CVV number, that makes sense. So we could just make use of this, install this, head over here and install this package. Structure. One more thing we should actually be careful to make sure that most of the widgets we are not using is not kind of like malicious and won't send back the user details once we are inputting it to someone that might use it. So you kind of have to be careful of something like that while dealing with some issues, those kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and add this. So we are just trying to install the package that we just copied over. Okay, once that is done, we could go ahead and start using that widget. Let's see how to use that. So we have the phone input, credit card number input formatter, credit card CVV input formatter, and I think okay, let's try this. Credit card number input formatter. So in here, let's see. The first one is the card number. So the first input we have here is the card number, which is this, and we could tap into the formatter. So we have the formatter. Okay, yeah, input formatter. So the input formatter, which should be this. In here, I'm going to add. I'm going to say credit card input formatter. Yeah, so that should be this. And let's try restarting our app, making sure that everything is working. Should be under payments, add new card, and let's try. Okay, so we have, I don't know, but let's try random number. Okay, that is actually working. Yeah, it's working. So the number is formatting the credit card for us, and that's actually the functionality we need. So we could go ahead and add other ones. So the next will be the dates, the card date formatter, so the expiring dates, and that should be this expiring formatter. So add that under formatter here. So say input formatter. All right, inside it, just add the expiration formatter to format the expiration date, and the last is the wait a second, wait. I think we did it the wrong way. So This should not be here. Move this out of here and move that inside here. So that should be formatter. And the last one should basically be, what's it called again? That's just CVV. So the CVV formatter, that's what we're looking for. Save this. Okay, try this again. So we have the card number being formatted, and try the date. So the date should be, let's say the month we want to, our month is 12, and that's working. That's good. Let's try 24. So I have 12 and the year is 2024. Yeah, that's cool. And then the CVV should be 3 number. Yeah, that's working fine. And then this is just a test, so just the username, Kotilevska. That's okay, so that's working fine. Fine. Let's try some stuff. Let's play around with this. So toggle the appearance. So the dark mode and the dark theme kind of like looks a bit off. Let's see if that's expected. Yeah, so I said it's looking a bit off. Yeah, that's good. It's actually okay. So let's toggle it back. So we just toggle this back to light mode. Yeah. So back here. Right now we are formatting this stuff and they are working. So right now we want to be able to save this into Hive database. So our Hive database, we want to be able to save that into our Hive database. Okay, so over here inside our back end, so yeah, inside our profile main controller, we can have a function that will help us do that. So here we are going to call the function void add new card. That's all what the function has to be doing. So I have an if statement. So inside our if statement, we are going to check to see if our card controller is not empty. So right now we have this inside a add new card method. So we are checking to see if card number controller test is not empty, and card holder name controller test is not empty, and expiring date controller.test is not empty, and also CVV controller.test is not also empty. So that's all we are checking to make sure that the user is adding the right stuff. Let's see. Okay, that's what we can, because I'm trying to see how we could actually detect the card we are using, because each payment card has a different numbers to detect if it's a MasterCard, Visa card, and so on and so forth. So I'm trying to see if we can actually make use of this package to help us detect that easily. So that's why I'm going through the documentation. So it says supported system are available as string constant in. Okay, anyway, if the number is not supported, it will just be returned as it is, and your input will not break because of that. And okay, playing the card system, say method to format a number as a card number. So let's try with this stuff they added here that we could actually use to help us format our card, and also give us the, did I miss something? Okay, no. So that this should be it. So we have this on card system selected, then card system, the card system data, and right in here, so I'm going to say, so where did we do that? So the first one was for number, so that should be credit card number input. So on card system selected, and inside there, this function returns something called card system data. So I'm going to call that system, and in here I'm going to print. So I have a print statement that just print the system for us. Save that. So let's try changing this. So yeah, it says this is a MasterCard. So if you look down below here, you see that this is actually dictating our card system. So it says the card system is a MasterCard and system code is 5. I think what's the other card name? So this one should be, no, the Visa card should be 4, if I'm not mistaken. Visa card should be 4. Yeah, so this is a Visa card. So you have dinner club card. So it's actually detecting that, and that's working. And we could actually use that when we are trying to save our card to get hold of the card system we are trying to save. And what else do we need to check out here? Yeah, so this for the type of card, and then the expiring dates. Okay, not expiring dates. I think next one should be if the card is valid. We could actually do that, or basically just let me see. So let's see if we can get something else from the credit card expiration dates, if there's something that has been returned. So it doesn't return anything. And also the CVV formatter. Okay. Okay, let's start using this. So we're able to get hold of the user's card system, which we are printing out here, and we want to save our card by using that to save our card. And right now we need to create a model for our card. So I'll head over in here. Inside our model folder, I'm going to create a new model. I'm going to call the card underscore model. Yeah, card underscore model dot that. So there we go. Next is basically add this path stuff, copy that. So I'm going to call this to be card underscore model. Should just say card underscore model. So basically it should be the same name as the file you created. The name of the file should be this. So what we are trying to do now, we are trying to create a model for Hive data for our Hive box. So we are using Hive to store our data locally in the user's phone. So kind of like a local database. And we are using Firebase for kind of like real-time database. So we are using two databases in our app, one for real-time, mostly for the chatting features of our app. If you have been here with me before, so you look at the chat section. So the chat section, I use Firebase for the chatting features in the app, messaging, both voice and text message, video message, and all those stuff. And again, so right now for saving the user's details, we are using the Hive and other stuff for saving users details in the app. So I have path card underscore model dot g dot that. Okay, yeah, there we go. So next one will be type. The type should be 3, and class should be card model, which extends Hive object. And in there, so we're going to have at value or at field. So what should our card model look like? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, we don't need this. So what should our card model look like? So it should look like this. So we have a string that has the username. So we call that holder name. And you just say at Hive field 0. And next we're going to say at Hive field 1. We're going to call that string card number. That's not string. Yeah, it should be a string. Yeah, string card number. And next should be at Hive 2. That should be expiring dates. CVV. So you have the card holder, card number, card holder name, expiring date, and CVV. And last but not the least is basically the card type. Yeah, card type, the type of the card we are having. So that should be this. And after that, I'm going to create class. So all the fields are actually required. So that's why I'm adding required to all those the constructor. And then we need to generate this. To generate this, if you have been with me here, so you remember how we run the code. So there's a code for generating those stuff. Let me look for it. Yeah, so there's a code you have to kind of like type to generate it. So it calls flutter packages pub.run build runner and then build. So it generates whatever we need. Okay, I think we're good. So it's kind of like generated it, yeah, because it's no longer showing the red error. I'll go ahead and save this. No, do we need to save that? No. Okay, so go to the adapter. So this is the card adapter that has been generated for us to use. Just copy that, the name of the adapter. Delete this, I don't need it. Head over to the profile controller, which is this. Whenever we kind of like this comes into context, we want to open or register an adapter. So I'm going to call Hive dot register. What just happened? Yeah, Hive dot register adapter, and this adapter that I want to register. So this is the adapter. And next we want to open a box. So we want to open a box, but the box we want to open is not just an anyhow box. So I want to open an encrypted box. So we go to the encrypted version of how Hive deals with encryption. So right here, so you have main secure storage to open an encrypted box. So I have open box. So this is the box we have to open. Encrypted was the put or something like that. So this is how you do the encryption and all those stuff. So first of all, we need to copy this flutter secure storage. So we copy that for kind of like saving our key. So I copy that code and paste it then here, and let's import this. So you need to kind of like add a package. We haven't added a package yet. So the package is called flutter secure storage. Oh my goodness, so it's no longer being maintained with unknown platform. Okay, I'm trying to see how it was wrong here. Okay, looks like they just had an issue, but this the package we need to use. I think there's other packages we can actually use. So we can actually use this package for doing that. So right in here, we need to add that package. So let's, okay, we didn't copy that. So let's copy that installation. Let's copy it and then add that right now here. What's that doing here? Okay, this for Python, Jupyter variable. So clear. Okay, so once that is added, what just happened? Okay, just minimize this, and then add this. So that will fix the error we are having here. So you have secure storage, and okay, assign it to this constant called secure storage. And next we want to have to do is to so what else is here? So we have to do say final encryption key. Okay, so I have this if key not exists, return null. So await secure storage or read key next will be check if the encryption key is not null. So try this section. So you have check, so if encryption key is not equals to null, so you have key equals to hive.generate secure key, and await secure storage or writes the key with the key value being key, and the value is basically what is being generated, the 64 URL encode, and that should be from that convert. Yeah, so from that and convert. And next after that, so we have to await read the key, final inscription, so open box, cipher, all those stuff. Let's copy all the way to this end, so the rest we do the rest later on. So but let's copy this and then go through what we are doing here. We still need to change some stuff. So once this controller comes into context, or once it's been loaded in our app, so it's going to run all this code whenever it's been loaded. We have this key. We can actually change this or whatever we want to change it to. I would just prefer to name it something else. So I will say call that card key. Let's call that card key, and key being card key, the key, and the value is basically generated key, yeah, secure generated key. That will be the value. And we have to create a new variable called key. We also await secure storage or read card key, because we named it card key, no longer key. And we're going to say encryption key is equals to base 64 URL dot decode key. Right, is saying the argument type list int can be assigned to the parameter type string. They will have no effect because the receiver can be null. That converts, okay, and then this so this is actually a string, right? But it's optional. So since the name key is already defined, where was it defined? Okay, I think we are the one making the mistake here. Okay, so this should be outside of this, and this basically ends here. Let's see. Yeah, so I have key, which is a optional string, and base 64 URL dot decode. It needs an non-optional string to decode as encoded, and we are passing in a string argument of type optional can be assigned to the parameter of string. So the next thing we need to do is to first unwrap that. So you first unwrap it, and then we could pass it here to decode, and then we print the encryption key. And do we need to print that? Just close that off, and I could say final encrypted box is equals to await hive dot open box So basically, hey, wait for await hive the open box. So the box name is going to be something different, not vote box, but I'm going to call it something different that we have been using. So in here, so this is where we are creating our boxes, and I'm going to call it something like card so let's call it card db. That's one, card db. And yeah, the name is going to be something like easy. Let's say secure card db, and that's all. Hive boxes. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to call hive boxes. Yeah, so this is it. So hive boxes.card db. Encryption cipher will be hive as. So this is the encryption method for encrypting the data, and then passing in the encryption key and all those stuff to open the box. So that's it for that section. And now we need to deal with saving the card, which is right under here, saving the card details. And also I need to create a variable here that keeps track of the card type. Under here, I'm going to say final rx string card type is equals to obx. Yeah, so void add card type, and that's basically going to say card type is equals to whatever we are going to add as the card type. So it's going to be required, not reactive, just required card type, and that's basically going to be equals to card type. Okay, there we go. So assign that to new card type, and the place we need to call this is basically whenever we are making changes to this place. So this is actually returning card system, and we checked that out last time. The last time we checked it, so it was returning something like let's try that again. In here, I'm going to remove this, and you see, so visa. So this is kind of like an object, it returns an array. So an array is being returned. Let me see, card system. Okay, it kind of like it returns it in a form of an array with an object called card system. And to actually access that, so you could just say, since it returns an array as 0 dots okay, it's going to be an optional name. To actually access it this way, so it's going to be optional. And next, again, let's make some changes here. Okay, yeah, so that's been returned as visa, so that's a card type. So we can just call the function that we copied over. So profile controller dot add card. So card type is going to be system dot system, You could just, okay, yeah. So since sometimes this might be empty, we just pass an empty string. So most of the times it might be empty, pass an empty string, or just use the test unknown. Just say unknown in that. I think that's okay for now. So there we go. So this is what we are trying to look for. Do so we have that function being called whenever the user is making changes here, and we are saving that to our variable. And next is head over in here. Let's see what else we need to do. So we need to actually save that card, and we need to use another and to make sure that card type is not empty, it's not null. Not null, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, so this way, so we are saying card type the value is not empty, making sure that is not empty before we do anything. So once we get that done, so let's try creating a card model and try saving that to a database like what we are seeing here. So we have hive open box, which is this, and then encrypted box that puts something inside. And that's excuse me. So guys, I needed to answer a call. Let me see. Okay. Back to what we are doing here. So I have the open box, and the box is basically open, and I have the cipher encryption key. Okay, we already did that part, but right now we want to kind of put something inside the box. Now just copy the same code that we have here, so it's still the same stuff, almost the same stuff that we want to do. And right here, so we could actually do add that here, and from now I'm gonna comment it out. I'm going to create a final, card model, a final variable, I'm going to call that card model, and that's equals to card model. And in there, I'm going to add a card holder name. So okay, there we go. So have import this. So as so yeah, we have that. So here have card number. So you have card number controller.test, card holder name controller.test, expiring date controller.test, CVV controller.test, card type.value. So that's it. So that kind of like help us to create the model that we want to create. And next we need to hive the box. So what kind of box do we need to open? Remember we had kind of like the same way here. We wanted to open the box. Yeah, so we open box, the type of box, which is this. So the box, we have a type of card model. So there's the box that I want to open. I could actually do the same right here under here. So the box we want to open is basically this. Right in there, I'm going to change the type. So this is not the type of the box. So the type is card model. And this is the box. And I'm going to call hive. I'm going to say await. So hive.put, and the key and the value. So over here, like express the sentence. So I have the key and the value of the card, but here we don't want the key and the value, so just call box or add. So because we are going to be adding multiple different cards to it, and the value is going to be card model. So that's all you need to do. So that's all. Let's see if this is a synchronous thing. So yeah, after that we could actually tell the user that they kind of like succeeded in adding so this returns an int value. So how do we know if this failed or passed? So okay, for now let's give the user this message. This particular message at the moment, but later we need to actually change this. But let's see how that looks, what that looks like. Once we done adding this, so let's go ahead and test this out and see if there's actually a card that's been added to our stuff. So next stuff we need to do is get hold of this card, any card in the box, and try it out and see if there's actually something that exists there. So I'm going to say copy this particular string and have an else statement, not an else statement, but kind of like print statement right here. So I'm going to say card added. So this is the card that's added, card model. Hive box is the card.get value, not get value, but I'm going to pass in 0. So that will be the Fox index, the card at default index. So get hold of that card for me. Let's try this out. We start our app. So there we go. So there's an issue, say it's not implementation file for the method read. Okay, so let's stop our app from running and start it off from the beginning again. So we're just waiting for this to kind of like run. Just need to wait for our app to build again. No, not on Mac OS. Come on, just build on mobile. I don't know why this is always changing to. So build on iPhone 12 Pro, 13 Pro Max. Okay guys, this actually takes times, most of the times, to actually build the second time after stopping it from building. So we need to actually wait for this to build. So see the command running pod install, and that's kind of like installing our app in iPhone 13 Pro Max, something like that. And need to wait for that to finish up before we do anything. I think once that is still running, let's see if there's something we can actually talk about here. Or guys, you can actually send me your question if you have any question. Drop that in the comment section and I can kind of like reply to your question now. Before that, let me see if there's something we have here. So if you kind of like finish this up, which probably if we're able to finish it up today, so tomorrow we can like work on this. So this will be for tomorrow, and once that is done, so we iterate on adding the psychology part of the app. So we haven't added that yet, so the psychologist couldn't use the app, so it's only for client side at the moment. So we need to add the psychologist part of the app to be able to use the app. I think that should be it. So this is actually taking time, so let's stop this from running. Okay, so back up here. Okay guys, looks like we have to stop here. This is having hard time building. So there's nothing much we need to do, just complete this tomorrow, finish it up, add in the card, and that would be it. Because I don't know why this is giving me an error, that there's a lot of multiple instances running. Let's quit this first. Okay, let's try running this one and one more time. Hopefully it should work this time around. Okay, we're still getting the same error. So don't need to waste much of our time. So guys, join me back tomorrow and let's see how to build this off. Let me look at what is happening. I think this is true. The issue is from my machine, so something like that is causing these issues. But yeah, join me tomorrow same time and we kind of finish this up. And yeah, let's call it a day today. Thank you guys for joining me, and also if you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button here, subscribe to the channel.